What is going on, everybody? It is your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri, and welcome to the Lineman Life Podcast. Got a very special guest here, another former Jaguar, a dude of mine who I only got to play 1 year with him, but it was a good time having him as a teammate. He would be in Jacksonville for years after that, and then move on, and then go on from there to the Tennessee Titans, and then the Eagles and the Falcons. It is my boy, Johnathan Cyprien, a.k.a. Sip. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Uche, man? What's going on? Thanks for having me.
So, a couple people who responded to my post that I was going to have you on the show, they were pretty hyped. They were like, Sip Squad, Sip Squad, Sip Squad. And I see that your website is Sip Squad, right?
Yeah. Hopefully the people who are hyped about it was the fans. The fans in Jacksonville when I first got there back in 2013 are the one who helped me come up with Sip Squad. So it's love in Jacksonville. I mean, obviously you was there, I was there, and Sip Squad stuck, man. It's still riding with me for today, and it's part of the name of my foundation, and I'll be going by it, for the rest of my life, most likely.
And I mean, it's always good to have a nickname. Some people know you by. I mean, I know personally, my name is Uche, and there just ain't no nickname for Uche other than Uche. So, that was kind of what that's what sticks with my teammates and with people who know me well. But no, man, you had a big following in Jacksonville. You had a lot of people who really bought into your style of play. You're that downhill physical safety. I witnessed it myself on the field. You come downhill and you make hits. You got great athleticism, and you provided a lot of energy to that defense even after your rookie year. You were able to do a number of good things in Jacksonville, but you also played in Tennessee. And that's a division rival. Was there a little bit of a want to be in the same division when you left Jacksonville? Or was there any kind of bad, or maybe stale blood or anything like that when you were leaving Duval and heading out to free agency?
Yeah, I mean, to be real with you, when I left Jacksonville, it was what it was. My last year, I was kind of, I guess, unhappy a little bit, and I kind of used that to kind of drive me during that season, and one of the best seasons of my career. Even through that though, I ended up going to free agency, and I went into the mindset, man, look, wherever I land is for God wants me there. You know what I mean? So Tennessee just so happened to be the one, and they just so happen to be division rivals, and just so happen to still be in the East Coast, in the South, actually. So I went, and ready to go, and I can't complain about that at all.
So, you say, everything just so happened to work out that way, and Tennessee and Jacksonville have a very physical history with each other. I mean, for me, I remember, team meetings when we had Jack Del Rio as the head coach early in my career. He called the Tennessee game a 2 chin strap game because you were going to need to pack an extra chin strap because of the kind of hitting and the kind of physicality that both teams had. Jacksonville at that point, we were, known as kind of that Pittsburgh of the South, and Tennessee kind of had that same style, downhill running team, physical games, physical plays. So anybody who's a fan of either one of those teams, when you mention the other one, you generally get, that kind. There's a little bit of cringe there in the kind of games that we've had with each other over the years. But from there you went to Philadelphia, and I think you ended up actually moving from there to Atlanta. I think they traded you, right? What goes through your mind when something like that happens? I mean, you can be traded for a number of different reasons. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you aren't the kind of player they want. But for you, in your eyes, when they moved you from Philly to Atlanta, what was your mindset when you were when that was going on?
Okay, you're right. You could be moved around for many different reasons, but my reason happened to be a good one, really. So coming into Philadelphia, I came in during training camp, and pretty much Eagles already had their defense set up as far as the players that they wanted and to play what position. And this was the first time in my career coming onto a team where I would be a backup and playing special teams. So it was something I had to really adjust to. And in Philly, I gotta be honest with you, it was tough, and I was expressing it not openly, not being an asshole and just walking out of meetings and cussing people out because I know what I signed up for, but just keeping that a reminder, whoever I had to, is that I wanted my opportunity to kind of prove myself, coming back from an injury because I was hurt the previous year. Coming back from an injury, my head is a player of the year. So that's what my mindset was. And for me to do that, I knew that I had to excel not only on special teams, but on defense. And, I have to give a little bit of credit to Howie, the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles. He understood it. And on both sides, after a month, Atlanta actually gave Howie a call, the GM for the Eagles, and asked them if they're willing to trade for me. At the time, they had an injury at strong safety with Keanu Neal, and they offered Howie to trade for me, and I was going to come in and plug in and be a starter. So going from a team where I wasn't starting because they kind of had their core guys, and going into a team opportunity arose where I can get on the field and prove myself coming back from the injury from the year previous. It was a good situation. So that's kind of the backstory behind it.
Okay. No, I mean that's not something that's totally unheard of, and you're coming off an injury, so it's almost like you had to kind of go back through that proving process that we all kind of go through when we first get in the league, where you're in a new environment. You don't really, these people don't know you necessarily. You don't know them. So there's a little bit of, show me what you got. We've seen film, but we want to see it in person. We want to see you work hard through all these different circumstances. I mean, I know for one thing, special teams, I mean, you're young. As a young player, you want to get off of special teams as quick as you can just because, at least when I was playing, dude, my early years, they had me on the wedge when the wedge was still a thing. And, my rookie year, I was like, I have got to get off this wedge. There are people there. It's like bullets are flying everywhere. Guys are dropping left and right. I witnessed a guy get a collapsed lung on wedge, and I'm locked arms with him, and then he just disappears. I'm just jogging to nowhere. I'm just trying to keep myself from getting taken out by the snipers out there. So I can definitely understand wanting to get off of that, wanting to show them that, you for a guy who your entire career as an athlete, you've been that guy. So, for anybody out there who really, has been in a situation like that, and me myself, I've been in a situation like that in Jacksonville, where I had won the starting job going into my third year against a veteran. It was clear that I was better than him. It was clear as day. Better than he was. He was older, but better than him, stronger, faster, more athletic. But then for some reason, for the first 3 games of the year, I didn't see a snap. And I was starting to get really pissed. I was calling my parents Mama, I want off. I want out of here. And not knowing why, but just kind of sitting there. I was just doing special teams. I was just on field goal. I'd go in on the heavy package. They put me in an extra tight end, and I'm thinking to myself, I was the starter all preseason. I was the starter in practice, but now first game of the season, I'm out. And for 3 games, I didn't play. I had maybe 5 snaps. And then for 2.5 games, because by the 3rd game against Houston, one of our, I think it was one of our linemen got hurt, and I went in, and then like 2 plays in, we ran a stretch to the right on the right side. Mojo goes for like 60 yards, touchdown. And then later in the game, we run a power right up. We run a power 36 power to the right, and I took out D'Amico Ryan and the defensive end at the same time. One guy in one hand, just tossed him to the ground, and there goes Mojo to win the game. And from there, they knew that they couldn't keep me out the starting lineup no more. They knew I was supposed to be the starter to begin with. Yeah. So it's those kind of things happen in the NFL where you just it's not a feud, but it's like you're getting tested a little bit. They're trying you a little bit, and so you got to kind of step up to that call and try and take care of business on that end. But other than that, man, it's I would say that for a player, I really did enjoy, even though it was one season.